Now imagine if dhikr was something that wasn't just something you repeat mindlessly, but it's something that makes you think. When a thinking person contemplates the winds that can pull trees out of the ground, winds that can change the shapes of mountains, winds that can destroy entire cities, winds that can bring about tsunamis that drown an entire city, an entire civilization. When they think about the wind, تَمَسَّكَ بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ وَالْتَجَأَ إِلَىٰ إِعَانَةِ اللَّهِ, then such a person holds on to the remembrance of Allah and just wants to get the help of Allah. فَصَارَتْ تِلْكَ الرِّيَاحِ كَأَنَّهَا أَلْقَتِ الذِّكْرِ. It's as if these winds themselves dropped a dhikr on you.
This video is taken from our deeper look of Surah Al-Mursalat, releasing now every Monday at 10 a.m. UK time. Watch the full deeper look of Surah Al-Mursalat and more exclusively on Bayna TV.
The word dhikr you've heard a million times. What does the dhikr mean? Reminder. But today you're going to learn a little bit more about the word dhikr and where it came from in Arabic. Okay? The word dhikr, dhakir, is actually something referring to metal or steel. Iron or steel. Aybasuhu wa ashadduhu, the hardest kind of steel, is actually called a dhakar or a dhakir. Summiya sayf mudhakkaran. That's why one of the words in Arabic for the sword is mudhakkar. Shafratuhu hadid, when its tip is extremely sharp and it can pierce through. That's when it's called a mudhakkar. وَذُكُورُ الْبَقَلْ مَا خَشُنَ وَغَلُظَ. And when your farm crop grows and the crop is very thick and it's unbreakable, it becomes strong, it's actually called dhukur, the crop that becomes very strong and thick. وَمَطَرْ ذَكَرْ, when rain falls really intensely, like it's like rocks falling almost, then that kind of rain is actually called dhakar. المعنى المحوري قوة الشيء وصلابته مادته بحيث ينفذ, something so tough that it can pierce through something, like metal that's like a sword that can cut through, right? Strong enough to break through something. That's something like that is called a dhakar. ذكر الشيء بالصوت. So now dhikr in Arabic, the verb, when you say something, when you mention something, the English word mention something in Arabic is ذكر شيئا. He mentioned something. وجود قوي قوي ليتبعه وجوده في السامع في الأسماع والقلوب. When you say something, it pierces through the heart and the ear and the mind of the listener. And that's why it gets remembered. That's why the association is made with something like metal that cuts through with dhikr. And what's the difference between dhikr and hifz? This is an interesting thing. Dhikr, remembrance. Hifz also, if you memorize the surah, you remember the surah, you did hifz of the surah, right? Hifz in Arabic actually comes with when you put something inside something. When you put the surah in your heart, when you put the surah in your mind, you remembered it. That's hifz. But when you bring it out from the storage, that's dhikr. So putting it in storage is hifz. Getting it out of storage is dhikr. To remember it, to pull it out and actually bring it out. Okay? All right. الحفظ يقال اعتبارا بإحراز المعرفة والذكر يقال اعتبارا باستحضار المعرفة. So that's what it's saying, that it's hifz is used when you store something, store knowledge, and dhikr is used when you bring out that knowledge, you're retrieving that knowledge. تارة يقال لحضور الشيء القلب أو القول بالنسبة للقلب أو القول. Sometimes this word is used for when you remember something in your heart, your heart brings it out and you have the thought, or your mouth says it. So dhikr could be something in the heart and it could be something in the heart. It pierces through and comes out, right? الذكر ذكران, ذكر بالقلب وذكر باللسان. Dhikr is actually two things in Arabic, with the heart and with the tongue. So when you say somebody says they're doing dhikr, it could be they're doing dhikr with their tongue. Subhanallah, 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 subhanallah. Or they're sitting there quietly and they're still doing dhikr. Why? Because they're doing dhikr in their heart. And best to do both, because the salah teaches us to do both at the same time, isn't it? So it's the ultimate dhikr. Also, they have these, nowadays a lot of people are into TikTok therapy, right? So, or Instagram therapy. So you have like affirmations. You stand in front of the mirror and you do dhikr. You can do this. You can believe in yourself. Je suis awesome. Like something like, like, Like you say it over and over to yourself as an affirmation. You know what that is? You're saying it, and the sound is going back in your ear, and it's impacting your brain waves, and it's impacting your psyche, right? So verbalizing things, and they do this in team sports, right? If your team is down 3-0 in the first half, we're gonna kill him. We're gonna kill him. Say it with me. Kill him. Kill him. Kill him. Like, you know? So before they go out, they do some kind of dhikr before they go out there, right? This is the same thing that militaries do before the army's gonna go out there. They're gonna her, right? What are they doing? They're verbalizing something that they want to have impact them on the inside, right? So this concept of the mantra or the chant or something, these are all forms of dhikr that we see all around us. And they have an impact. They have an impact in sports. They have an impact in motivation. Some of you guys are gym bros. Come on, bro. Come on, come on, come on. When you're by yourself, you're like, ah. But when your bro is there, you're like, come on, you got this, you got it. You're like, ah. What just happened? Dhikr happened. فَإِنَّ الذِّكْرَى تَنْفَعُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. That's what happens. So it is a powerful thing. It's not just a spiritual phenomenon. It's actually a psychological phenomenon. It's a social phenomenon. And this phenomenon is so powerful that at a larger scale, it's not just among friends in a gym or in sports teams. This phenomenon is so powerful that it can change the psychology of an entire nation. It's called propaganda. And in propaganda, you take a message and you say the message over and over again until people do dhikr of it, and that becomes the way they think. This is why to develop national sentiment, a lot of countries, you go to school every day, you're going to listen to the national anthem. Year after year after year, you're going to listen to the national anthem. Some countries, when kids go to history class, they're learning the same history in 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, same story over and over and over again with some more detail, some more detail. Why? Because the government wants these people to be programmed with so much dhikr of this, they never question. It becomes a part of their personality. They don't even think about it, it comes out of their mouth. You know? The propaganda machines during the elections, you'll have some channels that are dedicated to supporting certain parties. So you'll have right-wing media stations, left-wing media stations. That happens, right? And people that follow these stations, sometimes people go on the street and ask interviews. What do you think about this president? What do you think about the elections? What do you think about this? You'll find random strangers, they've never met each other, they're all saying exactly the same thing. Have you seen that? Power of propaganda. They're all watching the same channel. They're all doing dhikr of the same exact repeated answers, and they regurgitate them immediately, right? That's the power of dhikr. Now imagine if dhikr was something that wasn't just something you repeat mindlessly, but it's something that makes you think. It's not just something you accept, it's something that it actually makes you think. And that's actually the unique feature of the Quran. You're saying something that actually has meaning to you, that actually calls you to contemplate. So we're memorizing the Quran, we're reciting the Quran, but at the same time we're deeply thinking about the Quran, and thinking about the Quran is leading us to ask questions about the Quran. What does Mursalat mean? What does Asifat mean? Etc. etc. So it's actually a very powerful component of the Quran. Now the beautiful part of this ayah. التشبيه بإلقاء شيء من اليد إلى الأرض. See, Allah brings the reminder from the skies. The winds are a reminder. The nice wind is a reminder that there's no storm right now because Allah is still holding the reins. Remember? The revelation itself, the angels deliver the reminder. There's another dimension of the reminder I actually want to bring to your attention here. Human beings, as far as other human beings are concerned, we have two kinds of influences. We have positive influences in our life and we have negative influences in our life. You have some friends, because of them, you develop better habits. Because of them, they pointed you in the right direction. Because of them, they stopped you from doing something stupid in your life, right? That's your positive influences. Or your elders, your mentors, somebody you met at university, one of your professors, or your parents, or the imam, or somebody. Somebody's a positive influence in your life. But life is not just full of positive influences among other human beings. Some human beings are also what? Negative influences. Those are come on, bro, it's no big deal. It's Friday. I mean night. The Islam part's already done. Live a little. It's the summer. What do you want me to do? We're Muslims, but we're in the West. It's hard for us. You're just human. There's the human element. There's the human negative component, right? So, al-mar'u ala dini khalilihi. A person depends on the religion of their friend. The company you keep will have an impact on you, right? So we have in life some people that are a positive influence, some people that are a negative influence. Fine. And by the way, negative influences aren't just people that want you to do drugs and alcohol and zina and all that stuff. No, sometimes negative influences are in the family. You have some family members that love talking about other people. That's their only subject. They'll start with the remembrance of Allah. Astaghfirullah. Zainab. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Abdul Karim's children. First dhikr, then shaitan. Like it's a good combination, So and then those people are also a negative influence because then they start making you think about other people all the time. Instead of you thinking about more important things, now you're thinking about this one's wedding and that one's clothes and this one's comment and this one's message and this one's why is this important to you? Because there's an influence in your life who makes these things important to you. This becomes their subject, right? Now, this is among human beings. But let me ask you this. Do human beings also have a negative influence from the unseen? Who's that? The shayateen. الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس. And there are shayateen that come. They do their work. There's the qareen, right? They do their work. They want to push us towards the negative. They want to push us towards something bad. Just do it. Just say it. Just go for it. Don't worry about it. Stop thinking so much. You're going to just listen to that, not say anything? What kind of man are you? Say something. Finish him. Right? That's the shaitan. So now, on the evil side, there are some people that are an evil influence, and there are shayateen that are an evil influence. But on the good side, we have human beings that are a good influence, but also there are angels that are a good influence. Actually, angels are all around us all the time. And actually, according to this ayah and the understanding of this ayah by some of our scholars, and I agree with this understanding, they do put good thoughts in you sometimes. They do push you towards a good idea sometimes. They do put something in your heart, don't do this. Stop. Just go the other way. Sometimes it was you had made up your mind to do something wrong, and somehow something comes, like in Surah Yusuf, لَوْلَا أَرَّأَ بُرْهَانَ رَبِّهِ. Right at that moment, something happens to a believer, and they just know what to do. Like the mother of Musa alayhi salam, she doesn't know what to do with Musa alayhi salam. Allah puts a feeling, just put the baby in the basket and put the basket in the river. She's not a prophet, and that happens. Ashabul Kahf are not prophets, but somehow they get the idea, let's go to the cave. It's an angelic intervention. Let's just go. Where are we going to go? Cave. What are we going to eat in the cave? What if there are snakes in the cave? What if we fall off the mountain? What if they find us? There's so many questions that could be out. What if we freeze to death? There's so many questions. No, let's just go. And they all have this thought and they all unify because, you guys, when you guys are together, we can't agree on a restaurant. You can't agree on a weekend trip. You can't agree on what time to meet up for the game. How are they going to agree on a cave? How about that cave? Yo, that cave is so much bigger. Let's go to that one. They just all ijma' ala al-fawr. And they went immediately to this cave. Why? This is ilqa' from Allah. This is an angelic intervention. But I want you to understand the difference. The shayateen who do waswasa, the devils who do waswasa, it's on autopilot. It's constant, it's happening, it requires no effort from you. If you're sitting there doing nothing, shaitan's busy. You don't have to make any effort to invite the shayateen come without invitation. The same way, bad company is easy to find among human beings, isn't it? Bad company is easy to find, and shayateen are also easy to find. Well, they find you. But good company requires work or no? Does good company come easily? No. Good company requires you to make some effort. And good company can be lost easily and be replaced with bad company quickly. Good company requires work. And when Allah sees that work from you, that you're making the effort towards good, then Allah gives you the gift, al-mulqiyati dhikra, the angels also come and reinforce. If a person is doing wrong all the time, they're drinking alcohol, they're, doing whatever haram they're doing, ghiba, some wrong that they're doing, and they're doing it over and over and over and over again, they don't even feel bad. They don't even feel any guilt when they do it. But then there's someone who's trying to do the right thing. And then one day they're slipping. They were doing good, but one day they're starting to slip. When they're starting to slip, Allah will help this person because they have a good track record, yeah? So they might get a feeling in their heart, come on, don't do this. Just stop. Just hang up. Just turn around. Just don't go. Don't say anything. Don't respond. And you'll be redirected. And this is Al-Mulkiyati Dhikra also. This is also part of Al-Mulkiyati. So Al-Mulkiyati Dhikra is revelation coming to the prophets. It's the reminders that come through nature. That's also there. But there's also a dhikr that comes to the believer. That's also part of this beautiful ayah. Fal-Mulkiyati Dhikra. Of course, I told you the winds are a reminder, right? And the revelation is a reminder. But also, if we accept the interpretation that this is angels, which is a very valid interpretation, then the angels also deliver a reminder to believers every once in a while. And there is this form, this part of wahi remains. This part of revelation is still alive. The revelation that comes to prophets, that's done for. That's done. But the ilqa from the angelic world to push us in a good direction or the other direction, that's still there. There's still room for that. And this is why Allah says, when we die, we meet those angels that were helping us all along. And they say, نَحْنُ أَوْلِيَاؤُكُمْ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ. We've been your protective friends in life. So that doesn't mean they just protected you from a car accident. They protected you from slipping and falling down the stairs. That may have happened. يُرْسِلُ عَلَيْكُمْ حَفَظًا. But they may have also protected you from wrongdoing. They may have also protected you from bad company. Like they redirected you in some way or the other, subhanAllah. Okay. Now, أن العاقل إذا شاهد هبوب الرياح التي تقلع القلاع وتهدم الصخور والجبال وترفع الأمواج. Now let's think about the winds for a moment. When a thinking person contemplates the winds that can pull trees out of the ground, winds that can change the shapes of mountains, winds that can destroy entire cities, winds that can bring about tsunamis that drown an entire city, an entire civilization. When they think about the wind, تَمَسَّكَ بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ وَالْتَجَأَ إِلَىٰ إِعَانَةِ اللَّهِ, then such a person holds on to the remembrance of Allah and just wants to get the help of Allah. فَصَارَتْ تِلْكَ الرِّيَاحِ كَأَنَّهَا أَلْقَتِ الذِّكْرِ. It's as if these winds themselves dropped a dhikr on you. They dropped a dhikr on you. Because you thought about the power of the wind, it dropped a dhikr on you. What did I tell you before the recording started? I told you the sailor is thinking about what when they look at the sea? Well, according to these ayat, we should be thinking about death, destruction. We just feel the wind. The wind becomes a dhikr. It's constant. If you just stop to think about it, this becomes a dhikr. فَالْمُلْقِيَاتِ ذِكْرًا. Well, so this is it's called al-majaz al-mursal alaqatuhu al-musababiyya, meaning it's a dhikr. The final result is dhikr, but the starting point was the wind. Okay, this is an interesting interpretation of the story of Islam. Imam Razi is a creative thinker, and he's thinking about these ayat, and he says, what other possibilities are there that I can contemplate when I think of these ayat? وَالْمُرْسَلَاتِ عُرْفًا فَالْعَاصِفَاتِ عَصْفًا. So he says, فَالْمُرَادْ أَنَّ دَوْلَةَ الْإِسْلَامِ وَالْقُرْآنِ كَانَتْ ضَعِيفَةً فِي الْأَوَّلِ. It used to be, Islam was very weak in the beginning. When it first started, it had been released, the goodness had been released, but it was very weak in the beginning. But then it became strong. Al-Asifati Asfa. And once it became strong, it started spreading. Like it spread to Medina, for example. When Nashirati Nashra. And then when the days of battle happened, like the first battle that happened was the day of Badr, it's also called Yawmul Furqan. Fal-Fariqati Farqa. And then finally, Allah Azza wa Jal completed the ultimate reminder. The Quran's revelation was completed. فَالْمُلْقِيَاتِ ذِكْرًا عُذْرًا أَوْ نُذْرًا. So he sees these ayat also as what's coming, meaning the way the seerah is going to play out is kind of encapsulated in these brief words. Okay, in a sense, the story of the Quran. He also believes these to be, in the same way, he believes this to be the story of all the prophets, that they were released with goodness, with urfa, and then their mission became stronger, فَالْعَاصِفَاتِ عَصْفًا, and then their mission spread, etc., etc. So he looks at it as a prophetic possibility also. Okay, now, Then he talks, Imam Razi is again very creative. So he thought about not just the journey of the Quran and the journey of the prophets, but he thought about anyone's journey, your journey and my journey, and our souls and what they go through in this world. And he says, أن يكون المراد أن الرجل قد يكون مشتغلا بمصالح الدنيا مستغرقا في طلب لذاتها وراحاتها. He said he wrote it beautifully, so I'm going to translate this for you as I can. He says it could be a person that's so busy with all the things that keep you busy in this world, completely drowned in looking for more pleasures, looking for more comforts, looking for something to make you happy, entertain you, keep you busy. ففي أثناء ذلك يرد في قلبه داعية الإعراض عن الدنيا والرغبة في خدمة المولى. And all of a sudden, he feels something in his heart that says, I need to serve my master. And I'm distracting myself with things that don't matter. These things aren't as important. There's something more important in my life I need to focus on. فتلك الدواعي هي المرسلات عرفا. Then these feelings that he gets that make him want to do good are the ones that have been released. These directives have been released by Allah towards goodness. So the ones being released, al-mursalat, and the goodness being urfa. ثم هذه المرسلات لها أثران. And then these messages from Allah that come into your soul, they have two effects. أحدهما إزالة حب ما سوى الله تعالى عن القلب. So, and one of those effects is you start losing the love of other things compared to the love you have for Allah. Like you love something when Allah loves it, you start hating something when Allah hates it. Allah doesn't like it. Your emotions start changing. Not just your behavior on the outside, the way you feel towards things starts changing, right? And you start developing an aggressiveness towards or running away from things that are displeasing to Allah. And this is what he compares to وَالْعَاصِفَ الْعَاصِفَاتِ عَصْفًا.
Almost 300,000 souls have already been gifted a Bayyinah TV sponsorship, and the impact has been immense. But over 50,000 eager students who can't afford it are still waiting to begin their journey. You can help. Visit bayyinah.com/gift to share the gift of the Quran so that another soul can explore the depths of Allah's words.
Their access lasts a year, but its impact may last a lifetime. I want you to help me help them and give the gift of Bayyinah TV today.